Hi, and welcome to the Online MBA Spotlight with Poets and Quants. Joining me today is Marcus Phillips. He is the Associate Director of Recruitment and Admissions at Gies Graduate Programs at the University of Illinois in Champaign-Urbana. Marcus has spent nearly 10 years in the career field of admissions, 9 of which for undergrad programming. Now he's at Gies, which we named MBA Program of the Year in 2022 for its iMBA. It's regarded as being highly innovative and flexible after the university completely relaunched a portion of the degree that's fully online and comes at an unbelievable price of around $24,000. Also joining me is student Chi Chan, who comes from a background in engineering management. Thank you both for taking the time to be here today. So Marcus, I wondered if you could please start by telling us generally about the program.
Sure. Thank you, Anna. Thank you so much for allowing me to be here today. So let me just start off with our purpose. So our purpose is to shape purposeful leaders through life-changing access to education, research, and innovation. So everything we do is for this purpose. So we demonstrate this commitment to this purpose, and our students demonstrate this commitment as well, and also our alumni. And so this program, our iMBA program, started in 2016. We suspended our residential program, put all of our resources into this iMBA program, got our best and brightest faculty who teach quality education online. We wanted to make sure that it was a high quality and engaging program. So in 2016, we launched with about 100 plus students. Really wanted to just democratize education in the MBA market by offering this high quality academic program, high quality student experience program. But we also wanted to make it accessible and affordable to all who desired it and committed to pursuing it. So this program, from the asynchronous to the synchronous content type, to the number of courses, to the course length, the technology delivery and engagement. We really wanted to make sure that this was a high quality program. We engaged our faculty in terms of delivering their content. And so this program was designed for those working professionals, right? So we built this program not only with the learner in mind, but also the user in mind as well. So the program is quite extensive. The breadth and depth of our program is pretty much unmatched. So the curriculum consists of 72 credit hours. All students complete a series of 4 core specializations. So including strategic leadership and management is 1, managerial economics and business analysis 2, value chain management is 3, and financial management. So all students complete those 4 core courses. And then they can tailor the program to provide the flexibility of choice to choose, right? So where students can choose 2 focused specializations, we have 5 of those, or 1 focus area and a custom mix of elective courses. So we have over 18 elective courses for students to choose from, right? So a lot of choice. And so to round out kind of like the degree, being able to take those 4 core specializations and then take 1 or 2 of those really deep, in-depth specializations to really round out their education. And so the requirements also include 2 specialized capstones and a program capstone, which are hands-on, team-based projects centered around a case study to make sure that our students are putting in place learning what they learned in class or what have you. This program can be completed in about 2 to 3 years. The average is about 2.5 years. However, students have up to 5 years to complete the program. So we want to make sure that students can be able to complete the program kind of at their own pace, right? So there's no requirements to come to campus ever, but we certainly have some great opportunities, which I'll talk about here shortly, to participate in emerging or networking opportunities for our students. There is that flexibility that Anna mentioned. There's numerous start dates. So we have 5 throughout the year. January, March, May, August, and October. So we want to be able to meet students where they are in their educational journey. Students are able to skip a term if something comes up, so there's that flexibility there. Our students may take 1 to 2 courses per term, so it depends on that particular need of that student. Also, there's academic support for our students. Our faculty will have office hours, but we also have a strong academic and support team. So if you needed guidance and direction throughout the program, we will have professional advisors that are able to meet with you one-on-one in terms of direction and guidance. So all of this information and the quality of this program, like Anna mentioned, comes as a disruptive price point. And so our Dean Brown was instrumental in delivering this IMBA program, and it did disrupt the market. And so when you think of a high quality program that's accessible and flexible at the price point that we do offer, which is $23,905, it's a great value for our students.
Yeah, Marcus, one follow-up there. You mentioned how many initial students you had in the 2016 cohort, but hasn't the degree just grown exponentially? Could you talk about that, the growth of the enrollment at Gies?
Oh, yes. So we currently have over 5,000 students in the program. And so this is a testament to the technology investment that our leadership put into this program. We want to make sure that it's a high quality educational and engaging environment. So wanted to make sure that technology was first and foremost. And then, I can't say enough about our faculty and the level of engagement that our faculty have within the program and with their students. And I think people realize, as word of mouth that is spread, that they realize this was a high quality program, but at such an affordable cost, affordable price. And so students realize the value of this program, being able to save a lot of money as well. And employers were quite happy as well to not have to spend an exorbitant amount of money to allow their students to take advantage of their tuition reimbursement programs. And so I think a combination of those factors just resulted into the increase in our enrollment. And of course, the pandemic helped as well. But I think the price point, the flexibility, the global network that we have, and students love to interact with folks globally. And then the career-created content, I think, created that environment that allowed us to just explode in enrollment.
Yeah, thanks, Marcus, for the overview. One more follow-up question. What would you say is a key aspect of the program at Gies that perhaps stands out to other programming and business schools?
Well, besides the price point, I would say the career-created content. So we made the program to be relevant to our students' careers, right? So we are constantly looking at new courses that are innovative and supportive of the biggest trends that our students are seeing. Like, for example, we added last year mergers and acquisitions concentration, right? And that's big currently in the business world. We also have courses focused on communicating with data, utilizing our Power BI, for example. So the content of these courses are updated often to incorporate the most frequent, used application in the data world, which is huge currently. And then we have a disruption course, right? And so it's like an intro to cutting edge technology such as blockchain, which is very hot, AI, chat, GPT. So our courses will continue to evolve and add value to our students. And so I'd say just the relevance of our coursework is just, I'd say it's one aspect of it besides the price point and then the global network.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thank you for that. And now to Chi, what led you to pursue an online MBA in the first place? And then could you kind of talk us through the process of how you ended up choosing the University of Illinois?
Absolutely. So first off, I think for the online MBA, I'm currently working right now, and I wanted to find an option where I can work along with fulfilling my family commitments and be able to still get my go for higher education, go for an MBA. And so that's why I decided to go for an online MBA. And I've noticed too is the online MBA, they're very well known now. It's very common for many working professionals to go on it. So I felt like it would be a good way to network and meet with others as well. And as for my thought process on why I decided to go with the Gies College of Business is because I was researching a lot of different online MBA programs. A lot of them are really great, but one thing that really stood out to me about Gies is that they have a very big focus on engaging their students and making it seem as much of a in-person experience as much as possible. For instance, they have always had a lot of very like engaging live sessions. We have team assignments just to engage all the students. And there's definitely a lot of different perks along with a really great, well-rounded curriculum that ended up making me decide to choose and go with Gies.
Great. Thank you. And, just trying to get a little bit of the learning experience. Marcus mentioned how there's a flexibility in the time frame for graduating. And so I'd love to get your thoughts on the program, what your course is like. He mentioned some of the focus areas. Do you have a specific focus outlined yet? And just get your idea of what your day-to-day looks like at Gies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, sure. So in terms of my course load, so far it's been really nice. I think in terms of the experience, that's one thing I really love about Gies is their flexibility is we can choose go 1 year, 2 years, or up to 5 years. So for me personally, I didn't want to rush. I want to spend as much time as much as possible. And so I decided to go for more like a 2.5-year track that basically includes about 1 to 2 classes per term, per 8-week term. And has for our different courses, like we have, as Marcus mentioned, we have kind of a combination of individual work along with group assignments. And so it's been a really nice balance to be able to engage with the student and meet my other cohort that way. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you do a lot of group work? Do you have a lot of individual work? And then how do you manage? You mentioned that time management aspect was really important for you. So do you like work at night or do you work in the morning or do you not have a set routine? Just getting a sense of what your day looks like.
Yes, in terms of the work-life balance, it's how I like to be able to juggle it is I usually have my full-time job during the day. And so a lot of times after work, that's when I come back, and during the weekends, that's when I allocate a lot of time to do my schoolwork. And so normally I would say I spend about like 10 to 15 hours on schoolwork, but I would say it's definitely been interesting in the beginning, trying to get used to that routine. But I think once you get that routine in, it's definitely not an issue. And the program administrators, like the professors and everything, they're more than willing to kind of work with your schedule and have very flexible timelines to help out with that too.
Yeah, thank you. And I think we'll get into kind of what your future looks like after your IMBA, but do you have a focus for the program?
Yes, I do. So my focus is entrepreneurship. And so I'm currently already finished taking a creativity class towards that. And another is Gies has a lot of really good specializations. And so I had a hard time choosing a second specialization. So I decided to go for the electives path where I get to try a little bit of project management, a little bit of, they have this really great course for analyzing financial statements and understanding that. And so just like I go for more of the elective path as well.
That's so interesting. Well, great. Thank you so much for sharing that. Marcus, I wondered if you could talk a little bit about, you had mentioned the program is very global and there's a lot of opportunities for networking, mentorship, career development. And I wondered if you could kind of compare that, the online degree versus maybe what you get front and center at a in-person MBA program, and what Gies has to offer in that realm.
Sure. Yes. So typically most in-person MBA programs, it could be students from the state or just regionally based, and so they tend not to be able to have this global environment right in mind. And so with the Gies, there's definitely ways that our students can connect and network throughout the program. So 2 categories. Number one, students can connect and relate with each other through student-led opportunities. So our student body is very, very engaging. And so they tend to have these informal meetups domestically and internationally. And so a student could be traveling for a job assignment in Athens, Greece, for example. And so they may get on Workplace, which is our online platform, to maybe send out a message that, hey, I'm here in Greece. I would love to connect with someone that's in the program here, and most likely they'll get a response and then just connect with a current learner right in the program. It's hard to do that in person program, and so our learners are scattered right, internationally. And so that's one way. Or they may just get a chance just to meet up, in their local region or what have you. For example, we were out in San Diego and connected with a current learner, and there's over 100 current learners in the Southern California meetup group, right? And so students get an opportunity just to connect with each other, maybe at a coffee shop or a restaurant or what have you. And again, like workplace, for example, is a great way for our students to really connect. And if they wanted to get maybe career advice, some career development happening, they can definitely go on there and just connect with other learners within the program. And we have a large percent of our learners are working professionals, right? And so there could be hiring managers, there's going to be folks who work in HR, or it can be someone, within the field that you may be interested in. And that can be a great opportunity to connect. We have over 1,000 employers represented. So we have someone representing some niche or some sector of the business world and even outside of the business world. So that's one way our students can really get connected and network is through student-led opportunities. But we also have Gies-led opportunities. And so, for example, we may have iConnect meetings in different locales throughout the US or international, where we may have leadership or alumni speak to, in a formal setting, speak to our current students. And it may be someone who is in leadership in a corporation, right? So there's that FaceTime there to be able to network or what have you. But one of our probably most popular events is our iConverge event that happens every September. A huge professional development opportunities for our students. We bring alumni back who are in their certain career fields or what have you to just really engage and network with our learners, right? So not only are current students part of this iConverge professional development event, but also our alumni. And like, for example, this year, the theme is build your toolkit, developing the career you want. And so it's geared right towards that career development for our students. And then lastly, our immersion opportunities. And I think this what kind of separates us from even some in-person programs and also online programs is the ability to travel to different locations and to just collaborate, network, to really get our students to get their hands on opportunities on live case studies or live projects for corporations, and of course, just enjoy the local community. And so we have those opportunities not only domestically, but internationally as well. Matter of fact, we will have a group of students travel to Brazil here in about 10 days, right? And to work on live projects with companies in Brazil and enjoy the local area. So we have students travel to Seattle, country of Colombia, Ghana, Houston as well. And so those are some of the ways students can network and have some FaceTime with industry professionals as well.
Yeah, I remember you saying, you were telling us last time about the Brazil trip and you weren't going to go on it, but you said that you were going to get on the next immersion trip.
Yes, I was able to travel to Houston back in January of this year. And so this group visited Spaceport to learn about technology development and aerospace. And then they also visited AV and Texas Medical Center Innovation to learn about research and work with robotics in the healthcare sector. So those are some examples of students being able to engage, with these industries in the local Houston area. And so, and then they had to actually come together as a group in different teams and present, their findings, right? Working on live projects. And so it was a great way to kind of come together, work in a group setting and apply what you're learning in the classroom in this environment, and being able to actually present in front of leaders from these different corporate companies or what have you. So yeah, it was a great experience. So I was able to be a part of the Houston iConnect event that was attached to the immersion experience. So then again, there's some flexibility there where we can combine events. And it was a great time.
Wow. Yeah, that sounds great. And kind of going along with the lines of the technology piece that you had mentioned earlier, Marcus, how do you think technology and innovation has potentially changed the business landscape? And kind of a future question, what implications does this have on the development of students to become future business leaders?
Yeah, that's a great question. So technology and innovation, of course, will always continue to change the dynamics of the marketplace and business landscapes as we see with AI and ChatGPT. So the landscapes are complex, very, very organic. So leaders need to be able to pivot, right? And to show the flexibility to operate in a landscape that will always change. And so being adaptable, I think is very key for leaders. As the business world continues to innovate, of course, so will those who are leading, right? Leading the world. So creativity, critical thinking, like I mentioned before, adaptability, and those are all infused into the curriculum within our classrooms. So our professors, I don't see them as like the sage on the stage. It's more kind of like the guide on the side in a sense. Of course, they have, their expertise, but they really encourage our students to engage and bring their expertise to the table as well. And so we have a required course called leadership and teams that is part of the strategic leadership and management core requirement, where students will be challenged as a leader. And so they explore like the concept of leadership, access required competencies for today's leaders, learn more about themselves and how they can make effective ethical decisions, and building trust with others. And so making sure that our curriculum stays relevant, that our students are always being creative thinkers, critical thinkers, and being adaptable.
Yeah. And Chi, I kind of wanted to go over to you and ask about the impact of the program. You had mentioned you were taking some electives, and they could be on different topics. And has the classes changed your approach in your current job?
I would say definitely yes. I know this program has already had such an impact. I've been in the program for about a year and a half. And one big thing that it's really changed is kind of my mindset towards how I approach the rest of my career. One of my goals is I would like to advance in my current company. And so now it's after meeting all these cohort, learning all the experiences and taking all these different classes, it's helped me become much more well-rounded and more strategic in the way I approach my next step in my career.
Yeah, and this is a great transition to my next question. So you have the engineering management background. Now you are studying business with a focus in entrepreneurship. So what's next for you?
Yes, I have plans of eventually working my way up to being a facility manager at my current company. And I would also like to have a business on the side. And so I am also currently working on a little side business while I'm doing that. And I think I was able to have that courage to go into this because of my experience with Gies so far. And I feel like a lot of my fellow classmates have really kind of inspired me with their own stories.
And Chi, I wanted to ask, were there any electives that you've taken so far that have really stood out to you and kind of been like content you thought you'd never really get at business school?
Yes, I would say I actually recently just finished taking a creativity class. And that was one class where I never really thought much about. I thought it was something that just came to you. And I had these amazing professors where they taught me that, actually creativity can be learned. There are techniques to help you channel your creativity. And it just blew my mind as how much psychology that goes into it. And also we had some very exciting different types of assignments to help you channel your creativity. And so that was definitely one of the classes that really changed the way I think about things. And I work as an engineer too. And so I think this class has really helped me out with my current career as well too.
And not to put you on the spot here, I'm so curious, what were some of the creative assignments? I just imagine like doing weird activities to induce creativity.
Yes, I remember one of my most memorable one was we had this court case study where we are put in groups of 4 people. And we're given 2 different court case studies, and we read, and it's about a crime that someone committed. And our job is to figure out if we want to decide if this person's guilty or not guilty. And then we had this other court case study where our professors intentionally planted what we call a dissenter, and that's a person that doesn't, their view is different from the majority. And our goal as a dissenter, and I was actually the dissenter for my group, is we were supposed to argue why we believe so strongly about our opinion, and we're trying to convince the entire group to agree with us. So that was a very fun experience for me.
So you had to put your argumentative hat on.
Yes, and for me, knowing me, I'm not usually that way, but this class definitely challenged me, encouraged me in ways I never believed I thought I could. So.
Well, thank you so much for sharing. And I wanted to ask you now, could you talk about just broad overview? What are 3 highlights of your experience at Gies and that have had the greatest impact on you?
For sure. My first, I think, biggest highlight is definitely the people that I've met. One thing I've been so impressed with is how many different people with different backgrounds are in this program. Like, for instance, we have people that are not only just engineers, we have a lot of people that are very successful in their careers or executives in their businesses. We also have people that work in the entertainment industry. Yeah, just wherever you whatever it is, you name it, like it's probably in our program. And that's what biggest thing that I love about it. And so a lot of times when I'm going through my courses, a lot of these diverse perspectives really helped enrich my experience, because now I can actually learn firsthand. It's like, hey, how do these other different businesses do it? I think the second highlight is definitely a lot of our professors. Our professors, they always have the students' interest in mind. They're always trying to help challenge us, but like Marcus mentioned, is they're kind of acting like our guides. Like, for instance, I was taking this project management class, and our professors constantly encourage people that are working in the project process management fields to continue to share their experiences about what they experience in their industry. So that has been a really great learning experience for that. I would say the third highlight is definitely the different leadership opportunities and different program opportunities. For instance, I am a student ambassador for a Gies program. That's where I met Marcus. And it's been really nice being able to also meet some prospective students and tell them how amazing our Gies program is. And I also do another leadership position on the side where we recently developed a graduate business association. It is kind of essentially the student council for our business or for our school. And so it's really amazing being able to take part in these opportunities, because most people don't think you can be able to take part in these type of programs and opportunities when you're in an online format.
Thank you for sharing that. Marcus, I wanted to go to you and ask, as now kind of as a concluding thought to look forward in the future, how do you see the Online MBA and the IMBA at Gies evolving in the next 3 to 5 years? Obviously, the program has a very growth mindset in mind.
Yes, great question. So I think the Online MBA of the future is definitely an a la carte kind of selection, than more of a one size fits all. So programs will definitely have to provide customization, not only in their courses students can choose, but also like in the timeline to complete the degree. So programs have to be very flexible with the learner in mind, right? And so you think of micro-credentials, you think of career service offerings, opportunities for engagement. And so the good thing for Gies, though, we're already doing those things, right? And so we try to stay ahead of the curve when it comes to the Online MBA program. Our program, our portfolio offering is stackable, right? And so that's like an innovative thing we started a year or so back. And so students can start with a single course, and they can stack that course into a grad certificate, and they can stack a grad certificate into a specialized master's degree, and then they can stack that specialized master's degree into the online IMBA program. And so I think that's very attractive to a lot of students, where they're not wasting time and wasting money. And like I mentioned earlier, students' educational journeys are different, right? And so we try to meet them where they're at. And then lastly, we want to see more investment in technology, right? Technology is always changing. So whether it's AI, augmented reality, or metaverse, we will continue to evolve, right? Learn new ways to engage our students. And so we do have Associate Dean, who's our Chief Disruption Officer. So you don't hear that title too often. So much of his time is spent in the educational technology space, where he's always looking ways to improve engagement with content, other learners, and staff. So I can see those are some of the areas that we'll see evolve over time, next couple of years.
Thank you, Marcus. And thank you both for joining me once again and sharing about your program and your study. And before we end, I wondered, Marcus, could you please share how students could get in touch with your school if they're interested?
Sure, Anna. Thank you for having us. So they can go to our website. It's onlinemba.illinois.edu, or they can contact us at giesonline@illinois.edu, or my individual email is marcusp@illinois.edu. So those are 3 ways that students can connect with us. And we do have ambassador office hours today from 12 to 1 and 7 to 8. So check out our website. It's a list of exciting events that are coming up in July.
Okay. All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.